Hey everybody, how's it going? This is RLS ASMR, and today I got some chicken and rice. Some chicken and rice that I'll be eating. Sorry about that. And also, just some like flavored water, like the Crush orange drink flavored water stuff. Yeah, so how did everyone's Christmas and New Year's go? This is the 6th of January, so a little bit late on that, but mine went pretty well, so I hope yours went well as well. But I'm gonna go ahead and start digging in because I'm freaking hungry. So yeah, after New Year's, I got a little sick. So I didn't want to be sniffling and blowing my nose every 5 seconds. Some of it, I'm still getting over a little bit of it. I still have a cough. But it's like I had a cough, and then I had the sniffles and all that stuff, and then like a headache. I had to take that like emergency vitamin E stuff. And after that, I was good, but it was rough for like 2 days. I was like, what's going on? And then I was like, well, let me go ahead and just try this, and it worked. But yeah, so I can't remember if I talked about it in my last video or not. But for Christmas, I played poker with some family. That was really fun. But then for New Year's, I had family come down and we were just hanging out, and yeah, it was a good time. So we didn't do anything special. I just like to stay at home now. I'm an old man that way. What'd you guys get for Christmas? I didn't really want anything. Like I said, I think in one my last video, I think I said that my brother had bought me a YouTube a RuneScape membership. Yeah, and that was a RuneScape membership, and I've been playing a lot of RuneScape. As far as I'm concerned, I don't have a lot of things that I want. Sorry for that background noise. That was my chair. So yeah, I didn't get anything particularly good. Well, not that I didn't get anything particularly good. I didn't get anything because I didn't particularly want anything. That's what I mean. So, yeah, I'm just gonna be chilling. Although I think I did notify you guys in the last video that I did get the next surgery that I was gonna get. That happened December 7th of obviously of last month. And I've been healing from that, and I have this surgery for my skin graft scheduled next week, so I'm gonna try and get some videos uploaded before then, because I don't know how I'm gonna feel after. So, yep, I'm well on my way. I'm about halfway done with all this crap. I still got a ways to go, though. You know, one of the things that I really want to do when I'm free of all my health issues is I really do want to go and travel, because I really like traveling. I don't know who says they specifically dislike it, but that's something that I really like. Like last year, I went to Puerto Rico. And then the year before that, 2 years before that, or was it the year before? Well, it's 2 years before that, I went to Chicago. So, would it be about, yeah, it'd be about 3 years ago, so, excuse me. So, yeah. Chicago was really fun. I went there with a friend of mine. It could have been a lot more fun had I not been dealing with this problem, because around that time is when it really got really bad flare-up wise. So I was dealing with a lot of pain, but the times where I wasn't in pain, I was exploring in Chicago. So, basically the whole story, I'll go ahead and start in the beginning, but a buddy of mine had gotten a new job, basically with this company, and they were going to fly him out for training to Chicago from our state. And so he was like, okay, well, they were going to pay for his flight and his, hotel and stuff. I wasn't working at the time, so I figured, hey, why not? I'll just go ahead and visit. Or I'll go ahead and go there with him. So I bought a plane ticket. And then all I had to cover was just travel and food. So I figured, with Ubers and stuff. So I figured, hey, not a big deal. So we got to the airport. So how the flights worked out is it had to be a layover flight. So we went to to our airport. We went through the first flight, and then, now, this is like my third time flying ever on a plane when we did this. My buddy apparently has flown on more planes, so he should have known this. I'm gonna blame it on him. He can't defend himself. But basically, we get to the airport that we have a layover in. It's a 30-minute layover, by the way. We would have. Now, okay, we were like, okay, so we need to get our bags. When we got off the plane, we're like, okay, well, we need to get our bags so then we could go through the next batch of security so we could get on our next plane. Well, little did we know that when you have layovers, they just put your bags on the next flight and you just have to go through security to get to your next flight. We did not know this at the time. So, we spend well over 30 minutes in the baggage claim area trying to figure out, okay, where are our bags? And my buddy was like, where's my bags? Because that had his, like, all of his stuff that he needed for working, so he's freaking out. And he went and talked to the person, and it didn't occur to me throughout this entire time. I think I was probably just tired because we had to fly out pretty early or something like that. And it just didn't occur to me. And so then we had to wait for the next flight. And I think the next flight was like an hour or so away. So we went through security, we got through all of our stuff, and then we got to, then we just waited at the gate and boarded and all that good stuff. Now, I forget it was the first flight or the second flight, but there was this crying baby. And that was the only bad thing. Like, it was really cool because it's American Airlines, and they had the TVs, like the little screens where they can play the movies and stuff. They had that on the back of every seat. So I was sitting there and I could swipe through and pick a movie to watch. And so I was like, well, if it's free and it's flight movies, I'll watch a movie that I wouldn't normally want to watch, like pay for and watch. So then I saw Dark Phoenix. There's the time Dark Phoenix came out, I guess. And yeah, I'm glad I watched it on a flight because that was wasted time anyway. I didn't particularly care for it. And it sucked, man. That crying baby. Good thing I had headphones to kind of stop crying midway through my movie, so I didn't even notice it midway through my movie. I was too busy getting disappointed. It's not that bad. It's just not particularly good from what I remember. And I'm a really big, like, Marvel DC superhero fan. Like, of the movies and stuff. I haven't read too much into the comics. I want to. But I just grew up watching, like, my dad watched Justice League, like the original animated series. And he watched Justice League Unlimited, so I kind of grew up watching that. And we'd always go and watch the movies when they'd come out and things like that. So I'm just used to it. Not used to it. I really like watching it. I'll say that. So we land. Now, I know Chicago is cold. Okay. I knew it was cold. Full disclosure, I live in the South, United States. If it's spring or summer, it's very normal for us to have like 75, 80. No, not in the spring, but like in the summer, it's normal for us to have like an 80-degree Fahrenheit day. Now, for in the spring, if it's like a 65, that's a really good day. Now, that's not every day because it fluctuates and stuff. But the point is, even in the winter, it's because we went to Chicago in the winter, which I don't never recommend anyone do unless you're prepared for it. Where I'm from, the state that I live in, the coldest it got this year, I think, was like 10 degrees. And that's cold for people that live here. That's ridiculously cold to people that live here. but it was normally around, like, a normal day, the high would be like 45 or 30. I'm talking about, like, in Chicago when we went, if it was a 40 day, like a degree, that was a warm day. That was like, oh wow, that's dope. I didn't pay attention too much to the weather, but it was definitely, like, the numbers, it was ridiculous. Especially when we landed, it was windy, so that wind chill hit. Oh my god, it was ridiculous, man. So yeah, I had to actually, I thought I had brought like 2 coats with me. Couldn't wear them, bro. I had to get like a 3-layered. It was a puffy coat on the outside. It had like windbreaker material. And then on the inside, it had another coat that was insulated, but also same type of windbreaker material on the outside. Only thing that kept me warm. It had jeans. That was a mistake. I was able to live, but those jeans, man. Because what I was doing is in the morning, I'd get up, shower, get dressed, and then, order the Uber, because where the hotel wasn't in Chicago. It was in a town outside of Chicago called Elmhurst. So we had to go from Elmhurst. I had to go from Elmhurst into Chicago. So I had to Uber into Chicago every day to explore it. And then I would just pick a few sites I'd want to see for the day. I checked the restaurants around the area, what I wanted to try. I asked some locals what they thought. What should I go and try? Everyone would give me the same recommendations. They'd say hot dogs, or they would say the pizza's good and things like that. This one particular restaurant was Giordano's. They're known for their deep dish, and I went and tried Giordano's. I wasn't particularly impressed. Maybe I just don't like deep dish, but it was just a lot of dough, cheese, and sauce, because I wanted to get the original because I never had it before. Maybe that was my mistake. You let me know. And it was just not great. It was good if you like those 3 things and nothing else. I feel like I would have gotten the same sensation if I had just bought bread, cheese, and a can of tomato sauce, and then if I just melted the cheese, put it on bread, and then warmed up the tomato sauce and just dipped it in there like a breadstick. It'd be the same sensation. That's how much it's like. It didn't taste like those, like anything but those 3 things. Do any of you live in Chicago and you want to beat me up right now? Or maybe I went to the wrong restaurant. Let me know. So, one day I did that. One day I went to the botanical garden. Went around, took some pictures of some flowers. It was really nice. It was kind of awkward though, because here I am, this like single guy. I'm exploring Chicago, and I'm just kind of, and by the way, I'm in this big. I'll put a picture of it on the screen. Jeez, sorry about the background noise. But I'll put a picture of what I looked like in the coat. I'm in a beanie. I have this hood. Now, in the photo I'll show you, I don't know if I'll find the other photo, but in one of the photos I have a hood over, and I'm like 5'10", but now I had lost a lot of weight since this moment, but in this picture I'm probably like 200, 290, 300, somewhere around there. And I go to this museum, or not the museum, but the botanical gardens. And the day that I go just so happens to be like a kindergarten field trip to the botanical garden. Excuse me, to the botanical gardens. So it's like, it felt weird just because I wanted to just go in there and look around and stuff, but then there's like couples there. No one's alone. Like, I'm the only guy that's alone. And then a bunch of kids come through. And I just felt so weird because I'm just like, oh boy, the optics of this don't look very good. So I went, and then I sat on they had these little concrete pillars, and not pillars, concrete like seats. So I sat on them. I don't know why I said pillars, but I sat on them and ordered my next Uber. And I went from actually there. That's when I went to Giordano's because she had recommended it. And I just, like I said, I went and saw the Bean. I gotta put up some photos if I can find them. They're on my Instagram, so I should just be able to find them. And then I went to the Bean. I went to, and honestly, one thing I regret is not having someone, because I was behind, I felt awkward asking someone to take a picture of me in front of the Bean. I should have, because that would have been a good memory, but I didn't. Next time I go, I'm doing that. I may even do the thing where people act like they're squishing the Bean, the optic illusion. I might do that. But yeah, so I went and saw the Bean, walked around a little bit. Here's a funny instance that happened. I was walking around, kind of just exploring, and then I got turned around behind one of these buildings, and I was using Discord on my phone. If you're not familiar with Discord, it's like, voice chatting app. I was talking to my buddies because they were like, hey, how's Chicago going? And I was like, yeah, man, just checking in with y'all and everything. And so my battery was like at 25%, and I was like, okay, I'll just call my Uber when I get down to like 20%. That way I'm on my way home, or to the hotel. So by the time my phone dies, I'll just already be there and charging it. Well, my phone, as I'm talking to them, goes from 25% down to 15%. I hang up with them. And as I'm trying to order the Uber, my phone goes from, what did I say? It went from like 25% to 15%, and then from like 15 to 10, and then from 10% to like 5, and it dropped it drastically, and then it basically died. My phone died, and I was like, shoot, what am I gonna do? So there was this nearby business. Now, luckily, the buddy that I was with, I have his phone number memorized. Just because, I don't know, certain numbers I have memorized for no reason. And so I went and into the business, and I asked him if I could use their phone. And I ended up calling him, and I was hoping he answered the call, because otherwise I'd be screwed. So I gave him the address of where I was. I told him my phone was dead. I needed him to call me an Uber, and I'd pay him back for the Uber. So he called the Uber for me. I was like, okay, well, tell me like the description and who's there, so I'll know like what Uber I'm getting into. And I ended up getting into it. She drove me back to the hotel, and I think that was it day 2? Because we had only been there I think we're only going to be there for like 4 days or so, or like 5 days or something like that. And then the day after that, I went to Willis Tower, and that's really cool, because you go through these, it's a little, I haven't been there in so long, but, there's restaurants in the first, like the lobby when you walk in. There's different ways and different things you can explore. But then the big thing is you go up the elevator, and you go all the way up to the top floor, and then there's this glass platform you can walk onto, and it's completely see-through, and you can look down at your impending death if that ever breaks. So I was like, Jesus, man. So I went and took a picture, and I took a picture of my feet looking down at that, and you just see cars going, and it's like, oh my goodness, I have a fear of heights. Well, I have a fear of heights, and that was pretty crazy to see. So after that, I think it was our last day there. because I'm just recalling everything I'm saying, or everything that I did. And then my buddy had never actually been in Chicago because he was there for training. That the whole purpose of him being there was for his job. So he was there on business. He didn't really get to have fun. So on the last day, I was like, okay, well, it's your last day. He like got off a little early. Like, okay, let's go to Navy Pier because that's the one thing I didn't do. Well, that's not the one thing I didn't do. I didn't do any bars and stuff like that because I was only 20 at the time. Next time I go, you better believe. But anyways, so I go down there. We both go down to Navy Pier. We check out this restaurant, and it was actually pretty decent. But then we look at the time and we're like, bro, our flight leaves. I forgot when our flight left, but we want to be there a couple hours before your flight leaves. And we realized we only had like an additional hour to the time that we needed before we needed to be there in order to make it, basically. Like, we didn't realize how much of a time crunch we had, but we had a time crunch. So we finish up our food, pay the bill, call an Uber. I forget if roads were blocked off or what was going on, but we had to take so many. I think he was trying to get us there as quick as possible because we said we were in a time crunch. And so we started taking different back roads and shaved off like an additional like 10 or 15, maybe 20 minutes off the travel time to get to the airport. And that guy was really funny. He drove this Dodge Grand Caravan. This older white guy. And he was just like cracking jokes at us and stuff, and it was really fun. Really funny. But yeah, then we came home and nothing too eventful happened there. And I think it's because I was exploring alone and I was too young. Nothing was going on when we went. No events. I was looking up things to do there. What do people do there? And they came up with a bunch of like bar hopping spots. Music. But all the music events weren't happening when we were there, you know? So I was like, okay, well, what are we doing? Like, what am I gonna do? So it seemed like the thing to do in Chicago when nothing is going on is the thing to do in every area when nothing is going on. You go to the bars. So that's what I'll do next time. But yeah, everybody, hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you had a good Christmas, good New Year's, and you're gonna have a great 2023. I'm rooting for all of you. I'm rooting for myself too, believe me. So yep, just let me know exactly what you think about the video in the comments. Any comment suggestions, you know, anything you want to let me know, just let me know. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. See ya.